Okay, we're going to talk about altars today. Here's one I prepared earlier. Come and sit with me here. So just really quickly, Josh had created a little sacred space, altar space, whatever you want to call it, when we lived in the hills, and he really wanted me to have one as well, and I just thought I won't use it, it's just a waste of time. And then I came home from work and he'd made one. He created a little space for me in our spare room, very much like this one you see here. And it was like the catalyst for me, studying the divine feminine, and it was everything. It was everything. And so I actually think carving out a little bit of space for you and you only is really, really important. It's really important for self-care, meditation, ritual, whatever you want to practice, drawing, writing, whatever it is. I think it's really important. And I've just got this corner of our living room here. That's all. I think an altar would be really beautiful in a bedroom. You just carve a little corner. You'll see Josh's later. His is under an old gas heater that's been decommissioned. So you can put them anywhere. Anyway, this is my altar, my space. And essentially it's just things that I use, things that I study, and things that mean things to me. So my first thing here is me and my perfect little niece, because when I look at it, I just feel this great love, which is always a beautiful thing about self-care, and I think she's a little goddess reincarnated. Then I've got things that I use constantly for rituals. So I've got my little ritual bowls, which I use all the time. I have rose oil, which I've used in the rituals that I use to anoint myself. And I've got some sacral chakra spray that I got from my healer, which is really beautiful. My beautiful healer, my beautiful witch healer. And that's kind of sitting on candle wax, actually, that's melted from the candles. Then I've got this doll that I found in an op shop that just called out to me. I saw her and I was just oh, wow. She's really freaky and witchy, but I feel she's a goddess also that's watching out for me, and I just dig her, her dress, I think she's used to hold pins. Anyway, so she sits there. Incense, always incense, and then little things I've collected along the way. Yeah, so this little elephant I bought in India, and I love it. And then this little it's blossom that I found that's just sat here the whole time. A little feather I found on a walk, some flowers I bought, and then things I use. So my a little bit of Goddess, my favorite book, I love it. My oracle cards, I've got 2 tarot deck cards. The Library of Esoteric Tarot is just the best book ever. I talk about it a lot, and it's got all these different tarot cards that have been illustrated by from the 1920s to now, and it's just the most incredible book. I mean, beautiful. So that's always here. The Harvest Full Moon that's coming up in September, which we'll do with you, but that sort of thing sit here. Always a diary. And then my books that I use to study down here. So this is all my the Book of Symbols, the Sacred Feminine, the Feminine Book of Symbols, my Mary Magdalene tarot books, all that sort of stuff. So my altar is really a study space. It's where I come and study. It's where I come and meditate. It's where I come and tarot. And then the one thing that's kind of Wicca related in this that I've set up with a purpose is this kind of space just in the center here. So I've got my candle in the center, which I always light before anything, before I tarot read, before I meditate. When I sit down, I light my candle always, and I welcome my goddesses. And then I also shout out to the guardians of the 4 guardians. So I've got this beautiful crystal that our dear friend who gave me the tarot card just gifted us. That's representative of Earth. Then I've got another crystal. These are all from her, I think, that represents air. This represents water, and this represents fire. There's Wiccan ways to set them up in terms of north, south, west, or things like that. It all changes with southern hemisphere, northern hemisphere. The way I've done it is that this is the biggest body of grass in front of me. The ocean's behind me, and the fire is north. So north for us is where you get the sun all day. So that's how I set out my altar in terms of that. That's kind of like the most Wiccan thing here. But yeah, and then I've got, I've got a lot of my art that I've done around my altar, things that I've drawn, pictures that I've taken, other pictures that I've painted, some plants, just making it really like beautiful, sacred space, because I think the thing about when you carve out a creative, sacred space, I think that you are saying to yourself, I deserve this. I deserve a bit of joy. I deserve time to myself. And I deserve things to look pretty and sacred. So yeah, that's my altar.
Now I'm going to show you my altar. So mine is basically a space where I come and meditate. So it sits underneath this old broken gas heater. And it's just some tiling underneath where I've sort of put everything. But yeah, mine is really a dedication, I suppose, to the earth, to spirituality, and to my inner child. So I've got some photos here of me as a kid, because I think it's important that we worship that inner essence of our being, our child selves. So that's why I've got that little guy there. I have some crystals that some friends have bought me and that I've bought along the way. A little Buddha here, and then just some other sort of collections from the earth, really. So some leaves, some shells, a feather. So just sort of to represent the 4 elements, a lot like Hannah has done on hers. Just remembering those 4 elements and sort of trying to bring them into my practice. And I've also got a little bit of money, some coins here, which just represent abundance, and just sort of trying to bring that into my life. And I've got a little Tibetan singing bowl over here as well, which I sometimes use to kick off my practice, as so. And that's about it, really. So thank you for taking a look at my altar, and enjoy setting up your own if you haven't done already.